afternoon, children. Welcome to moral class. Hope you are all doing great. All of you take your moral book and turn to page number 50. Page number 50. The title of the story is A Sherwani for Abu. Okay, A Sherwani for Abu. First of all, I'll tell the characters. Mushir is a young, talented, energetic young whose behavior portrays love, selflessness and dedication. Okay, children. In addition to this, he was thoughtful and caring son. Okay, his good behavior is a lesson to all children who love their parents. Okay. Then Mushir's mother. Then third character, Ronak. She is Mushir's sister. Then Ahmed Hassan. Okay, he is Mushir's father. Okay, children. Okay, fine. Look at your book, page number 50. I think you need a new Sherwani, Mushir's mother said to his Abu, and a pair of dhotis too, added Mushir's sister Ronak. Shoes embroidered with zari. Ahmed Hassan smiled at his family and shook his head. My old things will have to do, he said. For him, owning new clothes was an impossible dream since what he earned by teaching at the madrasa barely paid the household bills. So children, at the beginning of the story, Mushir's mother said Mushir's father needs a new Sherwani. Okay. Then Ranak, who is Rana? Yes, Mushir's sister. She said her father needs a pair of dhotis too. Okay, a pair of shoes. Okay, children. So on hearing this, Ahmed Hassan smiled at his family and shook his head. Okay, he said, my old things will have to do. It means already he had one old Sherwani. Okay, so for him, owning new clothes was an impossible dream. Okay, look next page, page number 51. Ahmed Hassan was a poet. That morning, his family had been delighted to hear that he had been invited to recite his poetry at a big gathering being held at a Nawab's house. Then the children's eyes had fallen on their Abu's old Sherwani hanging from a nail on the wall. It was frayed. He could not possibly go wearing that. So listen, actually, Ahmed Hassan was a poet. Okay. So now the father had been invited to recite his poetry at a big gathering being held at a Nawab's family. Okay, children. Suddenly the children's, Mushir and his sister, the children's eyes looking towards their father's old Sherwani. Okay, that was hanging on the wall. Okay, but the Sherwani was frayed. Okay. Mushir thought that it was not possible to wearing that old Sherwani because it was frayed, isn't it? So Mushir was very upset. Okay, children. So next para, page number 51, next para. That afternoon, after lessons at the madrasa and while playing marbles with Abbas, Mushir was still thinking about the Sherwani. He was trying to imagine the gathering. It would be a glittering occasion. His Abu had told him that great poets like Saud Sahib had been invited. They would enter in shimmering silks and jewels, and his Abu would sit in a corner trying to hide the frayed sleeves of his Sherwani, wearing his old shoes and a cloth cap. Mushir felt upset. So now what happened? Mushir felt upset because he was still thinking about the Sherwani. Okay, he was thinking about the occasion because great poets are invited in that occasion. Okay, great poets like Saud Sahib, they were invited. He thought that all will enter with the silks and jewels, but his Abu, his father, would sit in a corner trying to hide the frayed sleeves of his Sherwani. Okay, so Mushir felt very upset. Okay, children. So next, look at your book. Look, Abbas was staring at the sky. The old Nawab is flying his gold-tailed kite again. Bakhtiar Khan was an old eccentric Nawab who lived in their lane. All he ever wanted to do in life was to fly kites. His kites always had a tail made of real gold thread. All the boys kept an eye on his kites because if one got cut, whoever caught the kite and returned it to the Nawab got an anna from him. Okay children, now one more character was introduced here, Bakhtiar Khan. Okay, he was an old eccentric Nawab, okay, who lived in that place. Okay children, his hobby is to fly kites. Okay, his kites had a tail, it made of real gold thread. Okay children, so all the boys are eagerly waiting to get the kite. Whoever caught the kite and returned it to the Nawab used to give anna. Okay, so now what happened? All the boys were eagerly waiting to catch the kite, isn't it? So now some boys saw two kites were in battle. Okay, now Nawab kite floated down, and so the boys ran to catch. They caught before it kicked the ground. Okay children, okay fine, look at your book, page number 51, last para. The boys were surprised when Fakhru opened the gate and waved them in. They had never entered the Harem before. Fakhru always paid them at the gate. Now what happened? They ran to Nawab's house. Okay, the boys ran to Nawab's house and knocked at the gate. Okay, who? Yes, Mushir and Abbas. Okay, they ran to Nawab's house and knocked at the gate. That time Nawab's old personal servant, the name of the servant is Fakhru. Okay, he was peeped out and waved them. Okay children, okay turn to next page, page number 52. Why Fakhru bhai? Abbas asked nervously. What's the matter? Fakhru shook his head. Nawab Saab has decided not to fly kites anymore, so he does not want the kite back. And Fakhru gave a deep sigh. How can that be? The boys exclaimed. He adores kite flying. Just then Nawab Bakhtiar Khan came stomping out into the courtyard. He glared at the children. What are these boys are doing here? They came to pretend the kite Hazur. Haven't you told them I have stopped kite flying? What's the point when Bulli Khan keeps cutting them? My kites don't stand a chance against his. The boys looked at each other. So now what happened? The boys, Mushir and Abbas, they ran to Nawab's house and knocked at the gate. Isn't it? That time the servant came and peeped out and waved them. Okay. So Fakhru, the servant's name. Okay children. So Fakhru said to them that Nawab decided not to fly any more kites. Okay. So now Nawab came out into the courtyard and he saw the children and asked why these boys came here. So Fakhru said they came to return these kites. Okay. So Nawab asked him, haven't you told them I have stopped kite flying? What's the point when Bulli Khan keeps cutting them? Because Bulli Khan always cutting Nawab's kites. Okay, so Nawab decided not to fly kites anymore. Okay children, so that time Mushir said I can make a better manja for you. Like that Mushir said to Nawab. Okay, that Hazur, the best manja. Mushir said I can make it myself. Bakhtiar Khan nodded and said, all right, if I cut Bulli Khan's kite, I'll give you boys a gold coin each. A gold coin? Abbas and Mushir stared in astonishment. The Nawab waved to Fakhru, who gave them an anna each. Mushir knew exactly what he wanted to do with his gold coin. Buy a sherwani, a cap and a pair of shoes for his Abu. So the Nawab said to the boys, if you cut that kite, I will give you a gold coin each. Okay. So that time Mushir thought to buy a sherwani, a cap and a pair of shoes for his Abu. Okay. So Mushir puts more effort to prepare a manja. Okay. So now Mushir and Abbas work together to make a manja. Okay, children. Page number 53. Page number 53. In the next afternoon, Mushir and Abbas got to work. Nawab's courtyard, 2 stakes of wood had been dug into the ground where Fagru usually made the manja. They took the thread and ran it around these wooden stakes. Then they pounded glass into a fine powder and mixed it with gum and flour to make a ball of prickly dough. So by evening, the manja was ready. Terence, along with Fagru and Nawab, they were watching Kai. Okay. This time, Bulli Khan, blue and red kite, came towards them. Okay. Then both kites had a battle in the sky. Okay, children. Blue and red kite dipped and began to drift lamely earthwards. Okay. So the boys hugged each other. Then Fagru pulled out 2 gold coins from his pocket and gave one to each one of them. Okay. So now he can buy a sherbani and a cap and a pair of shoes for his Abu, isn't it? So one day when his Abu was famous, he would say, "It's because my son Mushir bought me a sherbani that he worked hard for." Okay, children? So like Mushir, you should love your parents. Okay, share good news and your achievements with them. Okay, your parents will be just as happy about your achievements as you are. Okay, then be grateful for your parents and work hard to fulfill their request. Okay, children? Then do not raise your tone with them. When talking with your parents, match their tone and do not raise your voice over them. Okay, speak a low, respectful tone like you would with your teacher. Okay, children, hope you understood today's session. I'll meet you in the next class. Thank you.